Greetings friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Carrie and I guide people through their journeys in spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment. In this video, I'm going to share the early signs of spiritual awakening so that you'll know how to recognize it when it's happening. The initial phases of spiritual awakening can happen in a spontaneous or as a spontaneous shift of awareness. You can have a conversation with somebody that sort of jolts you into a new perspective that can lead to new awarenesses, and then this would be the beginning of a journey towards a quest in self-discovery. So this is a good way to address the beginnings of your journey in spiritual awakening. See it as being a quest in self-discovery that you're being compelled towards, because that is a strong component of spiritual awakening. It's a part of what initially motivates us on our journey. So dissatisfaction in certain areas of life, a sense or a feeling that something is missing or off, can be another thing that leads to this compelling towards a quest and self-discovery, which will then lead to an awakening of consciousness. Some other things that can activate initial phases of awakening: major life changes, getting married, getting divorced, moving to a new state, starting a new job. Anything that is significantly experienced as a major life change for you in your life can lead you to a shift in awareness, which will lead to awakening. Different types of trauma can also be circumstances that compel us towards a quest in self-discovery that can lead to awakening. So this could include illnesses, injuries, any form of abusive situation, anything that is traumatizing physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually can lead to an awakening. In fact, I'm going to share something about my own personal journey through this. So those of you who know me know that I am a lifelong professional psychic reader, also a spiritual guide, teacher, healing practitioner. I am a person who was naturally born really tapped in to my intuitive senses. But I did have an experience when I was about 3 years old that was traumatizing for me. And that experience was something that was like around the process of my parents beginning their journey in divorce. But there was an incident that happened once where my parents were arguing. I was outside. I could sense that they were arguing. My father came outside and ended up taking us to my aunt's house that day. And anyway, long story short, when that happened, I had a vision and a knowing about an aspect of the situation that was going to unfold. And lo and behold, it did unfold in the way that was transmitted to me on that day. That was maybe one of my first awakenings, because I knew, I was like, oh my gosh, I knew that this was going to happen. Something came over me and told me this was going to happen, and then it happened. I didn't understand how it happened, but I was able to recognize that it didn't matter how it happened. What mattered was that the information that came to me was helpful and accurate. And on that day, I made a commitment to myself that even though I didn't understand how I was able to know this information in ways that were beyond my physical senses, that it was helpful, it was accurate, and I was committed to always listening to that inner guidance that came to me. And that was my first epiphany of awareness and spiritual awakening that I had in my life. And again, I was like 3.5 years old. And it really shaped up my entire life and everything that I have stood for in my life to this day. Anyway, I just want to share that with you because in my life, it was through like a traumatic situation that led to what I can remember as being like my earliest instance of awakening into higher consciousness. And I'm happy that it happened because I love everything that I stand for in my life. I believe that I am meant to be on a path of not only my own spiritual awakening, but to guide others as well. So there's always good or silver linings that come out of trials and tribulations. So keep that in mind as well. So I want to share with you a few more signs, early signs of spiritual awakening. A desire to have more meaning and deeper fulfillment in life. If you're having that inner desire, this is something that can lead to an awakening of consciousness and awareness, because again, it's something that's going to compel you on a quest towards self-discovery. And these quests towards self-discovery that we feel compelled towards all contain the ability to lead us into higher states of awareness and consciousness, which is a spiritual awakening. Inquisitiveness around the beliefs and values that were instilled in you growing up. Asking yourself, do I value or align with the beliefs that I was conditioned to believe growing up? Or am I feeling compelled to go on a search and see for myself what feels true for me and what feels aligned for me and maybe what does not feel aligned for me? Asking yourself questions. Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? What's the purpose of life? These are all aspects of inquisitiveness that will for sure lead to awakening. One of my favorite things to do as a child would be to go outside at night, lay on the ground, look up at the stars, and just be in awe and wonder about life. Why are the stars in the sky? How did they get there? Where am I? Why am I here? What is it that's keeping all of this going? And me doing that as a child also supported continued layers of inquisitiveness that led to expanded consciousness and awakening. So this inquisitiveness can come in many forms, but just having that curiosity, why am I here? What is life about? What is my purpose? If you follow that compelling to gain awarenesses around those questions, it for sure will lead to spiritual awakening. The fact that you're having those questions is an indicator that you are maybe on the beginning phase of a spiritual awakening journey in your life. Noticing your empathic abilities, noticing your sensitivities to other people's energies or the energies of your environment is an aspect of awakening. You're awakening to your spiritual gifts as an energetic being. And so if you are one of these people who are beginning to notice your empathic abilities and your energetic sensitivities, be on a path of learning more about them so that you will feel empowered by them as you're learning how to use them as a life-enhancing tool rather than feeling crippled by them. Believe me, I know how it goes. I'm a lifelong empath myself. That's why I teach intuitive development. But if you are a person who's noticing that, be on a journey of discovering how to strengthen your intuitive gifts so that you can use it as a modality of empowered movement forward in life. There's all kinds of resources here on YouTube, books, whatever available today. Be on that journey for yourself. Feel curious and compelled to explore the realms of subtle energy and the unseen realms of life. If you feel that way, if you're naturally being compelled that way, as I was as a child, you for sure are on a path of spiritual awakening. Now, spiritual awakening is really just sort of like an initial phase of a bigger journey that's unfolding that allows us to cultivate being awakened, being empowered, allowing divine presence to work through us as conduits of light and goodness in the world. There's another video on my channel where I'm sharing the top 7 empowerment tools for spiritual awakening. The reason this is important is because as you are waking up, then you become aware that you need resources, practices, processes, and tools that you can utilize to support your journey. And that's really what my channel is all about. If you're looking at some of the other videos, you'll see that everything that I'm doing here are things that are supporting you on your journey. And I am continually uploading new videos, and so I invite you to check all of them out. Be engaged with me here, ask questions, let me know what you want more of in the future, and I will do my best to produce for you. Okay, so let me know if you have questions in the comment section below. Take a moment to subscribe so that you receive notices on future videos, and I will see you in the next one. Blessings and namaste. Much love.